All right, everybody. I think I'm finally done with phase one of this update. So there's a lot to get to here that I want to explain for you. One small thing with the pitching, with the starters now, I've changed my color scheme a little bit. Confirmed's going to be blue, projected's going to be gray. Then I've added this love, okay, or nope. So green means go, yellow means caution, red means don't like them. And I put that next to every projected starter. This is just kind of how I feel about them going into this matchup. So you'll get an idea who I like, who I don't like for this matchup. I figure this is one of the things you wanted when you signed up, is some insight from somebody who's following things closely. So that's what we're doing here. I've just got a little color next to everybody's name, and you can take a look and see who I like and who I don't like. After looking further into it, and now that we have some more data for this season, I've decided I really want to lean on the recency bias. So we're looking at the last 15 games. We're looking at the full season for 2024 now that we have about 6 weeks worth of data. We're looking at post All-Star break 23 until now. So this is everything from the second half of last season. I think it's July 11th on, and then also the first 6 weeks of this season. And then we have the 2023 season as a whole. All of these columns are just qualified hitters. That means they have to have a certain number of plate appearances per estimated team game to make it into the list. So not every player will be in all four of the tabs. In fact, there are quite a few that aren't. If there is data missing from any one of these tabs, it's a good indicator that this is either a platoon player, meaning they only play against either right or left-handed pitching, so they're not in the lineup every day. Those are guys you want to avoid anyway for the most part. Or they've had some sort of injury. They're either out currently or they've come back from an injury. But the gaps in the data will basically be an indication that you just need to look a little deeper at the player before just assuming that they're a good play in your lineup. And as always, you can always ask me. You can send me a message on Patreon. You can ask me in the Discord. I'll be happy to answer whatever questions you have. I've also made a new tab called Dynamic Hitters. Now, 2023 data is obviously static. It's not going to change. All these other tabs I'm going to update daily. So the Dynamic Hitting tab, and I've just copied and pasted everything from these three tabs into one page and then organized it by name. So if you have a guy like Aaron Judge, who obviously plays every day, he's going to have his last 15, his 2024, and his post-All-Star Game 23 data all in one place here for you. So we have all our dynamic data entered. We're going to enter his 2023 data. He was not a qualified hitter last year. He didn't have enough at-bats. He didn't play enough games last year to qualify statistically. So I don't have 2023 data for him. So we're going from the All-Star break on and then what he's done this year. And that's just what we're going to use for him. So composite hitter factor of 0.96, card XP of 1.05. Yankees play 3 games over the weekend, just like everybody else. We're going to copy our formula down. So his projection is going to be a 25.44. This is based on whatever you enter in here, C through F. So L15, 2024, post All-Star, and the 2023 season, times the composite hitting factor, the card XP bonus, the number of games in the week, spits out your projection. Now, if you can see from my lineup here, I have a lot of guys with missing data. And that's okay. These are guys I probably wouldn't consider playing anyway. It's always a good indicator that you probably don't want to use a guy if he's missing a lot of data. Just means he hasn't been playing a lot. Now, in my gallery, my top-rated outfielder is Nick Senzel. 9.64 points per game over the last 15 games. He's done pretty well. He missed the start of the season with an injury, so he doesn't qualify for 2024. He didn't play enough last year and into this year to qualify for the post-All-Star 2023, and he didn't play enough all of last year to qualify for the whole season 2023 stats. So all we're going off of is his last 15 games, which have been good, and his composite hitter factors, which are excellent for Washington this week. It's a 6% boost. 32.49, probably very high, and I realize that. So when I build my lineup, I have to take all that into account. Let's do another one. I know a lot of you have Salvador Perez. Here's looking at you, Gus. Catcher, middle infielder. All right. All right, we look at our dynamic tab. We're going to go find Salvador Perez. Here he is. Just going to highlight those three so I can make sure I got the right numbers. So his last 15 is a 6.71. His 2024 numbers as a whole, 8.63. So you can see he's cooled a little bit since the All-Star game of last year, 7.06. Let's take a quick peek at the 2023 tab. And for the season last year, 6.19. We're going to take a look at the game week factors for Kansas City. He's got pretty good hitting conditions this week, 1.02, so a little 2% bonus. We're going to say we have a card that has an 8% bonus on it, so 1.08, 3 games this week. And we're just going to drag our formula down, and you can see Sal Perez comes out to 23.62. All right, let's try Shohei. So Shohei is a DH. Shohei's last 15 has been an incredible stretch, hitting 373, hitting bombs, 6 homers, 14 RBIs. He's on a crazy tear right now, 16.17. 2024 as a whole, 13 even. Since last year's All-Star game, 1184. So obviously he's really good all the time, but exceedingly good right now, which is what we want to take advantage of. And his 2023 as a whole was 11.19. We're going to look at the Dodgers here. The Dodgers hitters, 0.96. So not a great week for the Dodgers hitters, but they're good. They can overcome. We're going to say this is a 5% bonus on this Ohtani card. 3 games, just pull that down. So his projection would be 39.46, probably the top in the league. And the projections obviously are kind of a low-end projection. This is just based on their averages. I'd expect him to beat 40 points pretty often, especially when he's going this well. But this is a good way you can compare players to each other when you're making your lineup decisions. I get my data from baseballreference.com. Shout out to them. I'm supposed to be citing them every time I use their data. So when I update this the night before the game week lock, so I'll do this tomorrow night, Thursday night, before Friday lock. That way, when you wake up in the morning, it'll already be up. You won't have to wait for me to update it in the morning, especially if there's an early lock. It'll already be there as soon as you start looking at everything. So basically, I'll update the tabs. I'll cut and paste the tabs over into this. So when you sort it, well, I'll sort it for you, but when I sort it, I can just sort by player and then by period, and it'll group them together so you can see them all in one sheet. I would move over 2023 as well, but I got those stats from RotoWire, and the format's a little different. I know it's a lot of tabs, trying to get this consolidated a little bit to make things a little easier to find. Doing the best I can for you. Relief pitchers, this is how we rank them, is we take their points per appearance and we multiply it by how many appearances they've made, and kind of gives you a way to compare between relief pitchers. So you can find some deals here. You got your Barlows, your Griffin Jacks, your Hunter Harveys, some guys that don't even get saves but are really effective relievers to use in a pinch. And you can find those guys all for pretty cheap. Relievers are always going to be your cheapest ads. I've had requests for looking through pricing, trying to find some of the best values based on our numbers. I'll try to get a video out with that. We're going to go over some buy low, sell high players using WOBA minus XWOBA to figure out who's getting a little bit lucky right now and who is getting a little unlucky and will probably get better as the season goes on. It's a great way to find value. I'll give you a hint. It's Brandon Nimmo right now. All right. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to make a copy of this and share this as Gallery Organizer 2.0 with all these changes to it. And of course, you can look at the sheet each week, the main sheet, check out the game week factors. It'll tell you how many games each team has, who their matchup is, and then your composite hitter and your composite pitcher factors, which will then just go right into your gallery sheet. You know, we don't have to do them on each tab. We just do them at the end, or as we're putting our projections with the cards in our gallery. And then we get our personalized projection for our gallery based on whatever our XP bonus on that card would be. Anyway, I feel like I've been doing this for about 10 hours today and I'm half dead, so I'm going to go to bed. If you have any questions, of course ask. It's been a lot of fun getting to know some of you in the Discord. Great way to communicate. If you don't use Discord yet, I'd recommend it. Pretty easy to use, really intuitive. But of course, you can hit me with a direct message on Patreon too. I'll get a notification for that. Good luck to Zelko. I know he's got like a top 5 running right now in limited champ. So hopefully you can win some money. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share. So here it is, Gallery Organizer 2.0, and I'm just going to share it with all of you